Hi there, I'm Megan of megansiemens.com, and today we're going to talk about why I deleted over 500 followers, which brought me under that magic 10,000 follower count, why this was actually a really, really good thing. Plus, we're going to talk a little bit about how to build a business using social media, because I've been doing that since 2016, and I've built 3 successful businesses. So let's dive on in. Okay, so there's something about that magic 10,000 follower mark that makes everyone, I'm feeling those, like that sound. Can we cue that? I got questions all the time. How did you get over 10,000 followers? And what came with those questions were stories of, I can't wait till I have 10,000 followers because then my business will be as successful as I'm dreaming it to be. I can't wait till I have 10,000 followers because I'll get more opportunities. I can't wait to have 10,000 followers because more people will see my work. And you all, this actually couldn't be further than the truth. And if you're waiting for 10,000 followers, or on that note, if you're waiting for anything really to show up before you show up in full, you're doing this whole process backwards. So I want you to think of something. Let's say you have 200 followers. If you have 200 followers, that's the same as if you had 200 audience members waiting in front of you to speak to them. What would you speak to them about? What would your stage be for? And would you be a little nervous speaking in front of 200 people? That's the same thing as 200 followers. 200 followers on Instagram equals 200 humans. Let's say it's even less than that. Let's say it's 100 followers. That's 100 humans. That's 100 humans waiting to hear from you, waiting to hear what you have to say, and that have chosen to follow you and be in your space. Show up for them as if it were 10,000 people waiting to hear. I mean, if you have 5 followers, that's 5 humans. That's like a workshop space. That's 5 humans that want to hear from you. It's not about more. Even though society's wanted to teach us our entire life that these vanity metrics are important, it's about showing up as you in full, and you can create all the success, all the opportunities that you want by following what's true for you. So why did I erase followers or refresh followers or whatever we want to call it? So for quite some time now, my engagement has been super, super low. And I've been growing this account since 2016. So I honestly hadn't refreshed it since 2016. So never. And I noticed my engagement was getting lower and lower. Less people were seeing my stuff. Less people were voting on my polls. And this is fine because it's not, from a number standpoint, like I said at the beginning, it's not about the numbers. Like, I still had incredible humans engaging with me. I had incredible humans showing up for the work that I'm meant to serve in the world. I was creating an impact on these amazing humans that were showing up. My impact, my mission is to spread that impact across as long and far as I could. I want to support hundreds of thousands of women to reclaim themselves, get out of their comfort zone, and live their life on purpose. And so I want that ripple effect to continue on and on and on, and to watch the engagement lower and lower and lower. I mean, I'm just going to be real. I'm going to keep it real. It was frustrating. I was getting so frustrated. I was getting so bitter. The platform that I initially used to build my business was dying. And then I decided to reframe that. Reframing, if you're new around my corner of the internet here, reframing is one of my all-time favorite tools to use. I think it's one of the best things we can do for a perspective shift. When we think things are too hard, when we think things are not working, when we think things are not going our way, when we think everything is working against us, it's probably time for a reframe. Because usually, I would be so bold to say 99% of the time, you are a centimeter shift away from the result that you actually want. And so I decided, instead of getting frustrated, instead of being bitter, let's change it and let's see what happens. So last night I hosted a full moon circle, just a really intimate, interactive workshop. It was so beautiful, and I just so acknowledge the women that showed up for this work. I'm getting like actually full body goosebumps right now thinking about it. We did some release work, we lit some stuff on fire, which is always fun. We did some belief journaling, and we did a bit of a 28-day review. I mean, we did so much in this workshop, and it was so beautiful, and I did all of the work with them because that's what I always do. I'm never going to give you work that I don't do myself, or at least try myself. So I did it with them, and I did the release writing work as well, and really, really brief description of release writing, because this will be a different video for a different time. It's all about just like getting those heavy weights off of you. What are the stories you're carrying? What do you need to set free? What do you need to let go of? And I frame it as like a rampage. Like, you just write and write and write and write. No one is going to read this, and you just go and you let it all out, and then we release it. And as I was doing my rampage, I was writing, and all of a sudden I wrote 10,000 followers. And I was like, oh, interesting that I felt like I needed to set that free. And so I knew. This morning when I woke up, I knew exactly what action that I needed to take. Little side tip for you. Don't wait on the action that you know you need to take. When it comes up to nudge, don't let your mind talk you out of it. So I got up this morning, and I had my coffee, and I did my journaling, and what else did I do this morning? I listened to some music, and I cleaned up the house a little because I did light stuff on fire last night, so there were kind of ashes everywhere. And I sat down and I was like, okay, we're going to start this cleanup. And I just started, and the follower count was going down. And as the follower count was going down, I was getting notifications coming in. And I just was lit up knowing it's working, it's working, it's working, it's working. There are more people that I need to impact. There are more people coming into this corner of the internet to get what I'm here to serve through. And so, on a more tangible and logic-based standpoint of why I did this on my Instagram, so you get the spiritual, now you're going to get the logical, you can have these things that are called ghost followers. And since I hadn't cleaned out my account since 2016, I had loads of ghost followers. Ghost followers are basically inactive Instagram accounts. I had Instagram accounts that were following me that hadn't been active since 2016. And this can lower your engagement because Instagram wants you to have engaged interactions on its platform. You can also have bot accounts, you can also have spam accounts, and these are the things that I went through to clean up. Today I really focused on looking at if they didn't have a profile picture, I would do like a quick tap. They usually didn't have posts either, if that was the case, which means they probably just like shut down their Instagram account without fully shutting it down, I guess, without like deleting it. And I got rid of those, so I purged those. And then the next step was tapping through. Now, it does take some work, you all, and if you have a VA or someone that can do this work with you, you all could tag team it together, but I do recommend on a tangible level just being really careful because you don't want Instagram to think you are a bot and then lock up your account or something. So just a note for you, just a tip for you, but this is kind of the tedious part where I would kind of click over to the account, click on their first post, see when their first post was. Now, I didn't do this with every single account because a lot of these accounts I've engaged with, a lot of these accounts I know, a lot of these accounts I follow, so I wasn't doing it on those. I was just kind of scrolling down the line, click, 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 just like making it a really fast process because I knew this is not going to be like a one-day task. I'm going to go back and do it again. So that was the first like logical reason of why you should do this. If you're feeling like your Instagram engagement is really low, then it could be time for a cleanup. And I think the logical reason that comes with that reason is if you have all these ghost followers and Instagram's lowering your ranking on its platform, then you're not reaching the actual people you need to reach. And so that's the second thing that I'm going to look at in my cleanup that I'm doing. I'm really going to look at, are these my ideal clients that are following me? If they're not, they're probably not engaging, which is typically the case. And so we'll start cleaning up those followers as well. Because my mission is so much bigger than just an Instagram platform. My mission is so much bigger than just getting likes on Instagram. My mission is so much bigger than just getting a comment or a story reply. My mission is to create a ripple effect that changes the entire world, because I think that the change that you want to see begins with you. The thing that you want to impact in this life the most starts with you taking action. And to me, to live by those principles means I start with me first. And so if I want to keep extending that reach more and more and more and more, then I want my Instagram profile to be ranked up so that people can see all the content that I pour hours of my time into. So I want to end the Instagram part of this on just a note for you all that there's so much pressure put on follower accounts, and every time I would hear from people, they'd be like, how did you do that? And how did you get to 10,000 followers? And I want to be there, and how can I be there? Give me all the tips to be there. And every single time I would give advice along the same lines of, I would give I'm going to give some tangible Instagram growth tips in a minute. I would give those tips to them, and I would always finish it off with, when you can put so much focus and impact into the humans that are already in your circle and expand your outreach from there, you'll get to 10,000 followers. But you don't need to get to it right here, right now. There's so much opportunity in front of you that you might be missing if you're rushing to reach a milestone. And I'm all about having goals, and if that is your goal, amazing. Are you doing it, one, for the right motivations, and two, are you doing it in a way where you know you can create results now and you're just walking towards that as you go? I had a beautiful client goal around getting to 1,000 Instagram followers. As a milestone, she had to expand her own kind of impact. In this case, she was not a service provider, she had a product, and that's how she wanted to expand her impact. And she hit that goal all while growing her business along the way. You can do both. You do not have to get here to have what you want. You can have it now. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with 3 actual practical tips to grow a business on social media. Since so many people ask, how do I get 10,000 followers? How about we change that to, how do I impact 10,000? So I'm going to give you 3 practical tips to grow your business on social media. Number 1, you all might have seen this one coming, or if not, surprise. You have to be you. We don't need you to be a cookie cutter of anyone else on the internet. We need you to be you, and people are, frankly, I think, getting a little overwhelmed with content marketing. And people want to see new. People want to see something refreshed. People want to see your mission. The world needs your mission. So show up as you online, not as someone else. If you look at every single successful person that there ever was, that might be a stretch, but if you even just think about the 10 most successful people you know that have online businesses, they all have a different strategy. They might have bits and pieces that are the same, but they all have different strategies that they used. And there's one thing that they all have in common that is uniquely different, and that is themselves and their drive to get their mission out there into the world. It's not about having the right strategy. It's not about having the right way to show up. It's about being you. You can take those strategies that you learn from people, like the next 2 that I'm going to give you, and you can put your you-ness in it. We don't need any more cookie cutter versions of anyone else. We need you. Tip number 2 is talk directly to that one person you want to impact. You don't need to speak to 10,000, you need to speak to 1. Even if you had an audience of 10,000 people, you still want to focus on talking to the 1. Because the 1 is what creates the ripple effect out. The 1 is the most powerful shift you can make. Talk directly to that 1 person you know you can help. And I guarantee it will expand and ripple out there. So do this in 2 ways. 1, optimize your social media profiles. Is your bio saying exactly what you do? I can't tell you, I was doing my cleanup today and I, was looking at inactive accounts. There were so many, crushed my heart. There were so many just big, beautiful missions, big, beautiful businesses that had just been inactive since 2016, 2017, which means they probably, for some reason, one reason or another, stopped serving that mission. And maybe they went to a greater mission, maybe they you know, moved on with bigger and better like ventures, but I saw so many of these, and I noticed so often when I was looking at the bios, I was like, oh, I can tell that you have a big vision. I can tell. If you could just tweak it just a little bit and just talk directly to that one person, let people know what you do and how you can support them. When you get to your profile, do you know, this is what this person does? Okay, there's so many tangible ways to make sure you're doing this in a really optimized way, but just have a look at your profile and ask yourself, does this tell people what I'm all about? And then also you can do this in your content. So when you're writing your content, what does that one person need to hear? There's so many different strategies to do this. As I said, there's a million strategies to that same success point that you want. For me personally, that is working with my flow. When I feel really inspired to write content, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to batch as much that flows out as I can. I've been known, I actually taught a course at one point on how to write 365 days of content. I've been known to batch some crazy amounts of content, and you can do that. You can absolutely do that when you work on your inspiration. And sometimes that looks like, for me, having a bit of a content block and then one day being like, I know exactly what they need to hear. But talk directly to that person in your messaging. What do they need to hear, and how can you help them get the solution that you help people achieve, whether that's on a service base or a product base? Are you speaking to that in everything you put out there? This is a business that you're wanting to grow on social media. So talk about what you're doing and your incredible mission. And hey, if your comfort zone's in the way, I may or may not know a coach that helps with that. And then finally, your third and final tip for growing a business on social media is create your customer journey. You can't just have the Instagram, have the content, magnetize all these people in, and then have nothing else, nowhere else for them to go. Your journey just ends there. You have to have something that they can click on, that they can then come into your world a little deeper, and then they can then come into your world a little deeper. They can then come into your world a little deeper. This is called a funnel. If you've been in the online marketing space for a little bit, you've probably heard of that. And if you're brand new, watch this space, because I think something might be coming soon around that. That was me winking. But the point is, you have to take your customers on a journey so they get magnetized in. Like, imagine you had a brick and mortar store. That's what your social media is like. Your social media is like bringing them into the door. So I'm thinking about, if I go into my favorite boutique, and if I go and I start to shop around and I start to pick things out, and then no one talks to me, no one tells me about their sales, no one tells me anything, no one even greets me, I'm probably not going to be super excited about shopping there. And when I'm leaving, are they doing something that's going to make me want to come back? And it's the same on your social media account. People have a quick attention span on social media. You have something like 2,000 characters or less. Maybe I should know that exact number for this video. You have a limited amount of characters to capture someone's attention. And really, we can break that down even further. You have a headline to capture their attention, or an image or a video, whatever platform you're on. We're talking about Instagram specifically. You have a really brief window to capture that attention. And so you have to bring them in, and you have to take them on a journey and walk them even more. So with that, I'm going to close up this video. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this video, and if you want more on topics like this, topics like building a business around your passions, getting out of your comfort zone and showing up online. I love chatting with my private clients about this, as we often set goals around building their dream business. And I'd love to know if you want to hear more like this on this channel as well. Remember, as you're showing up online, it's not about the numbers. You will grow as you show up fully as you, and that can only create a ripple effect across the entire world. And trust me, we've all been waiting for you. I'm signing off for today. I will chat with you all really soon. Have a beautiful rest of your day wherever you are in the world. Bye.